I want to go deeper and bring in NBC News correspondent Ken Dilanian and Jeremy Bash, former chief of staff at the CIA and former member of the Obama administration. Ken, you say there are still a lot of questions about what the FBI knew and what they did with that information. Explain.
Stephanie, FBI Director Wray was on the Hill for 3 hours testifying yesterday, and you just heard there that Congresswoman Demings still doesn't have answers to basic questions about what did the FBI know and what did it share. And the reason, I'm sad to say, is that no senator asked Wray directly, what intelligence did you have? And what about all this chatter on social media? What did you do with that information? Are you hamstrung from collecting some of it for First Amendment reasons? Wray did say that, look, we have a problem of trying to sift through what is aspirational and what is intentional on social media. A lot of people say crazy things on social media. The FBI has to try to figure out who is actually going to commit violence. But that doesn't get to the question of, look, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, these right-wing militias that were involved in the insurrection, they have been on the FBI's radar for years. Members of those groups have been under investigation. They have been charged with crimes. So why didn't the FBI know that these groups, or did they, were preparing to go to the Capitol January 6th to commit violence? Wray really didn't answer those questions yesterday. The good news, Stephanie, is that the head of FBI counterterrorism is before the Senate Homeland Security Committee today, and senators have another crack at getting answers to those questions.
Jeremy, the FBI can react and respond to these threats, but they can't prevent them. And this takes us back to the big lie. This week, the former president again pushed voter fraud claims. And then this morning, Vice President Pence, who, let's remind our audience, January 6th was an assassination attempt on his life. He wrote an op-ed with this in it. Quote, after an election marked by significant voting irregularities and numerous instances of officials setting aside state election law, I share the concerns of millions of Americans about the integrity of the 2020 election. Jeremy, what in the world is going on here? How can we possibly stop these divisions and this threat of extremism when the root of all of it keeps getting churned up and inflamed by our own former vice president?
Yes, Stephanie, first, I think Ken is exactly right about the FBI's collection of information, and there are a lot of questions that remain. But I think he was very clear, Christopher Wray was very clear yesterday when he was asked by senators, do you believe that there was widespread voter fraud? And he said not only was there no widespread voter fraud, but there was certainly nothing that would have changed the outcome of the election. I think he the big lie, as you termed it, and I think that's exactly right. In fact, I think the bigger issue that a national commission has to study is not so much how to prevent another January 6th, because, frankly, it can be prevented through better collection of information, better sharing, better coordination, and better preparation. But the larger, the national strategic question for us is, what do we do about the big lie? How do we deprogram people who have been programmed to believe in something that's absolutely not true? How do we rebuild confidence in our election system and rebuild confidence in our democracy? That's the bigger, harder question facing our country.
A good way to start addressing it is stop telling the big lie, especially those who know better. Jeremy, Ken, thank you both so much. We're going to leave it there. Coming up, there.